everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Today we are going to be doing a foundation roundup of all the foundations that I've been doing wear test on and trying new makeup and shop my stash. All those foundations for the past month and a half or so, and we are going to rank them. I'm very excited. It was interesting prepping for this video, just laying them all out. This is my first ranking video, and I actually had more trouble than I thought I would. Looking at it from like the watcher's side, I'm always like, oh, they always say it's hard to do, but it actually made me make some tough choices where I was like, oh, I'm not really sure how I feel about that one, and I had to kind of put a hard number on it. Anyways, enough babbling. Let's get started ranking all these foundations. All right. Before I begin, I do just want to say that every foundation that I talk about, I will link up in the eye above on their respected videos, just in case you want to go check those out, kind of see more detailed thoughts about them. Let's just start with number 11. So number 11, I don't think comes as any surprise to anyone if you've been watching any of my foundation videos. It is the Shiseido Syncro Skin Self-Refreshing Tint. Looks like this. It's their newer tint based off of the self-refreshing foundation that everyone loved. I have not tried that one, so I can't speak on it. This is the shade Light Buna 215. It didn't do my skin any favors. I like a light coverage foundation. My preference is a light to medium foundation, probably more light coverage, but this being a light coverage foundation, it didn't do anything. It covered some redness, but I just felt like it didn't wear away well. My skin kind of looked blotchy because of the way that it wore away. I said this in my video, and I'll say it again. I feel like people with oily skin would prefer this foundation or this skin tint. I'm gonna call it a foundation. If you do have oily skin and you like this, or if you have dry skin, I have normal leaning dry skin. So typically most foundations can work for me since I'm normal, but I would love to know what skin type you have. If you've tried this foundation and love it, let me know down in the comments, because I am just this just left me confused. I'm gonna bring it to Arizona and see if my sister likes it, because I think this shade would work for her, and she does have oily skin. And if she doesn't, I might just declutter this. This is one that I really didn't like this, and I'm surprised by that. This is my only bottom of the barrel fail. Coming in at number 10 is this L'Oreal Age Perfect 4-in-1 Tinted Balm. This is infused with firming serum. I have the shade 20 Light. So this is in the fine category. We're in the fine category already. I didn't hate this. The reason it's just ranked so low is purely for its shade. It leans so orange. And this is like the third shade to the lightest. I might, if I can find a store that carries this, because I did order this on Amazon, I'm interested to see what 10 Light looks like and see if that fits me a little bit better. I don't know. I have the Age Perfect Radium Serum that comes in a little tube, and I have that in shade 40. Granted, it's a little bit dark for me right now because we're in the den of winter and I wear that in the summer. However, this was almost even darker than that. You can check out that video for swatches because I do compare the two. And I don't know, this was nice, but L'Oreal really dropped the ball on their shade range, and it's disappointing because this was actually a nice foundation. I really liked how it looked on my skin, but I can't get past the shade and the undertone of it. And that's not even counting. I mean, they have like 8 or 10 shades. This is not a sheer skin tint. This is a foundation, and I expect more from them. I'm just disappointed because their other, like the Age Perfect Serum Foundation has more than 8 shades. Like what's going on? Coming in at number 9, so this is the Lancome Tint Idole Ultra Wear. I have the shade 215 Buff Neutral. Looks like this. Let me swatch it for you. So this is probably the best shade that I have as far as my skin tone currently. Again, in winter, it's one of my lighter foundations. I don't not like this. This is the foundation that I'm wearing now. Everything that I'm wearing will be listed down in the description box. It's not my style. So it's not that it's bad. It just is very, very full coverage. And I don't necessarily prefer that. It has its time and place. I just feel like when I put this on, it's not just a straightforward makeup application day for me. I really have to consider the products that I'm pairing with this, because if I use anything that's not very light, like a lighter powder, it just looks very heavy and cakey on my skin, and I don't like that look. I would rather be wearing no makeup and go out in public than be wearing a makeup that just looks very just heavy on my skin. That's just not my preference. Some people pull it off and look great, but for me, I don't necessarily like that. So that's why this is coming in at number 9. I know this is a cult classic. A lot of people like this, and for good reason. Again, it's not a bad foundation. It just comes in at number 9 solely because of the coverage. Number 8. So I have the number 1 to Chanel, the Revitalizing foundation. Looks like this. It does come in a pump, and here's what it looks like. I have the shade B30, which is typically the foundation that I wear across Chanel foundations. So the reason I rank this a little bit lower, one, it's just not my favorite Chanel foundation. I really, really love the Beige. That one is a holy grail for me. I love it so much. It just looks so nice on your skin. And number 2 is that it doesn't wear bad, but by the end of the day, I actually took a photo and my face was so oily, and I don't really get very oily, but it was apparent in that photo. I can't post it because I asked my boyfriend, he doesn't want to be on my channel. However, my face was just so greasy, and I didn't realize how greasy my face looked until I saw that photo. This is nice. It looked beautiful on, which is why it's at number 8 and not lower, because it does look nice on your skin, but it's not one that you can wear for a long time. I would say 4 hours tops. And I think if you're gonna purchase a Chanel foundation, there are other ones out there that are way, way better than this one. All right, moving along. Number 6. I have this in a Shop My Stash. So this is the Maybelline Fit Me Shine Free and Balance Foundation. I have the shade 130 Buff Beige. This is a little bit dark for me. Normally in Maybelline foundations, I said this before, I wear the shade 120. I think maybe with their stick foundations, the shade range is more limited, and that's why I picked this shade, but it looks like this. I really like this foundation. We're starting to get into the category of foundations that I like more. And I mean, I've used quite a bit of this. You can see just, how do I do this? How far down it is. I really like the Maybelline Fit Me line. A lot of people do. It's not my favorite in the Fit Me line. I really love the matte and poreless. It's one of the only foundations that I've used up all the way. But this one is really great. I think it just wears really well. It doesn't look powdery. I can know that it lasts a full 8 hours, a full day if I need it to. And I just think it looks really nice. I like that it has this like little center thing in the middle. I don't know if that's what makes it shine free and balanced, but this is a really nice one and I like it. Number 6. So this is one, it's probably one of the newer ones in here. I know not all of these are, hot off the press and just released. This is one of the newer ones. And from what I'm seeing, a lot of people like this. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation in 4 Neutral. So here's what it looks like. I love that it comes in a squeezy tube, similar to the IT Cosmetics. Again, I have the shade 4 Neutral. Here's what this one looks like. It's very thin, it's very glowy. I did like this, but similar to the Chanel, I just don't think it wore well. It's not one that I would rely on for a long day. Do I think this could like get me around for a couple hours? Probably longer than 4, but I wouldn't feel confident if I was having a long day wearing this. It just kind of, I don't know, it just didn't work that great for my skin type. And again, I have normal skin, so most foundations work fairly well. I think the other thing that just ranks this a little bit lower for me at number 6 is that Charlotte Tilbury, her other foundations, while I haven't tried them, more of them lean towards the full coverage side. I know she has the Light Wonder, and that's kind of like her light one. However, I was really expecting this, and maybe that's my fault. However, I was really expecting this to be lighter coverage, and this is a solid medium, even kind of further down on the medium range. And I think that's just what's holding me back and ranking this at number 6 is just, I'm having a hard time wrapping my brain around what I expected versus what I got. And this is good. I'll absolutely wear this again. I just don't know if it's one, again, that I can just depend on. Number 5. So I tried this one in a trying new to me makeup. So again, this is not new. It's just new to me. This was the Guerlain L'Essential Natural Glow 16-Hour Wear, the shade Too Warm. Here's the swatch of it. It does look very warm. It was okay for me. I mean, I do think that I just tend to get my foundations a little bit darker because this is the lightest I've been in years. And this was good. I rank this number 5 over the Chanel or the Charlotte Tilbury because this has better wear time. So out of the Charlotte Tilbury, the Chanel, I mean, clearly this is a ranking video and I'm ranking this above those. It's just, I like this one because it gives similar finish to the Chanel or the Charlotte Tilbury, but this wears so much longer, and it says natural glow, and I 100% agree with those claims. It gives your skin a natural glow. It is medium coverage, but unlike the Charlotte Tilbury where it leans almost like bordering that full coverage, this kind of leans the opposite direction of medium, and it's not light. I wouldn't say that it's light at all, but it's just a little bit more in that range of light versus a little bit more heavier of a medium. So that's why I ranked it number 5. Again, going past the Maybelline, going past even just the L'Oreal, all those foundations I really enjoy. It just comes down to making really tough choices on, okay, which one is just a little bit better for my preferences, and that's why they're ranked higher. Coming in at number 4, so this is the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator. This came out not that long ago. I have the shade Light, looks like this. So this is going to be more of a light coverage foundation. That's primarily, honestly, why I ranked it a little bit higher. It's my preference on coverage. While it was a light coverage, it just wore really nicely and faded away gradually. Wet n Wild, their foundation doesn't smell good. However, I have to admit, their foundations, they come out with solid foundations. And for the price point, I really can't complain. This is something that I really, really like. And I'll continue to wear this in the summertime, just, kind of quick out the door, easy. I really liked this. It's not as long lasting as other ones. It's not as full coverage. However, for me, again, I know I keep repeating myself, this is just what I prefer. And for an everyday Saturday running errands, this is what I would reach for just because of its ease of application. All right, top 3. So to preface this, I love, love, love all 3 of these. Most of these just surprise me so much. If you think you can guess which ones they are, leave a comment down below if you've been watching my foundation videos. Let's start with number 3. So I actually gave this to the Kosas Tinted Face Oil. This just surprised me so much. I rated it number 3 out of the 3 I'm going to talk about, just because I do think that if I had to guess, it's a finicky foundation. I see very polarizing opinions on this. I have the shade 3.5. It looks like this. It is clearly very oily. However, once you apply it onto your skin, it looks so nice. I don't know what else to say. It can be a little bit powdery looking. It does dry down to a powder finish, but I loved how my makeup looked that day. I was able, once I just put a setting spray on, it kind of took that powderiness down. It wore really nicely. I just thought it exceeded all of my expectations. And while I can see why this wouldn't work for everyone, if you watch that video, again, it'll be linked above. I actually took it off and then reapplied it because I put it on over a pore filling primer and it just pilled, even though I let that primer sit for like 10 minutes. So I think that if you can figure out how to wear this, you will absolutely love it. But that's why it's at number 3, just because out of the 3, I think it's the most finicky one. Whew, top 2. This was tough. So ultimately, my decision came down to what surprised me the most. So number 2, I just had a feeling I knew I was gonna like, and I was right. I love it. It's a great foundation. So it is the Cosmetics Daydream Cushion Foundation, and I have the shade Light Medium. This is going to be a little bit harder to swatch, but here it is. I love cushion foundations. If I had to pick any category to just always wear, if they were like, you have to pick one foundation type, you know, in the squeeze tube, a cushion, or full coverage, I just love cushion foundations. So I wasn't surprised at all when I just absolutely fell in love with this. It looks so beautiful on your skin. It just looks so skin-like. It makes you look glowy, but not oily. I can't say enough things about this foundation. I absolutely love it. It wears really great. Your skin, it does wear down. I will absolutely say that. After 8 hours, I remember it did look a little bit greasy. It was clearly fading away, but it was doing it in just the most natural way. Like after 8 hours, sometimes you're like, oh God, like I look busted. And this was at least like, okay, yeah, like clearly that girl was wearing makeup today. She's had a long day. She's looking a little shiny. It's wearing down a little bit. So I wish I could just like emit the emotions that I feel about this foundation, because I just love it so much. It's so easy to apply. It looks great with cream and powder. I can't say enough things about it. The only reason that I put it at number 2 is because I pretty much knew when I purchased this that I would love this foundation. I have not tried a cushion foundation that I haven't loved. And that is why Cosmetics goes in at number 2. And last but not least, we have the number 1 spot. So this one is, drumroll, the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation. Looks like this. We've seen this before. A lot of people have tried this. A lot of people like this, and for good reason. So it's very, very liquidy. I'm not even gonna swatch it, like it just runs down your hand. I have the shade Light Medium 9. It is a little dark for me. However, I'm confident once it warms up quickly that this will match me. I gave this my number 1 between the Cosmetics. I mentioned this because it surprised me so much. While a lot of people have talked about how much they love this foundation, I know Samantha March talks about this foundation quite often, or at least she did. It was one of her favorites. I just wasn't expecting to love it so much. This is a medium to full coverage, similar to the Charlotte Tilbury, and that's why this surprised me so much. because this is the first foundation that I can remember where the coverage was so full, or, you know, so much, there's more coverage, and I loved it. My skin, I can't even tell you, I feel like I felt like I had just a really, really great skin day, and it was this foundation. It just made my skin look so good. I mentioned this in the video that I'll probably be wearing this to my best friend's wedding, which is why I'm going to Arizona, and my opinion hasn't changed. I'm speechless. I'm stumbling over my words. That is how much I like this foundation. I just could not believe it. You can even see in the video when I'm first applying the foundation, I'm a little bit skeptical. I was like, I don't know if this is me. I finished putting on my foundation, and you know, I filmed the last clip before my 4-hour check-in. I'm looking at it in between those 4 hours before I was checking in, and I just fell in love. I think it was just, I'm like so speechless. I don't know what to say. This made my skin look magical. I can't say anything else about this. If you have the money to buy this foundation, because it is quite pricey, I recommend it wholeheartedly. Like, I could live off of these 2 foundations in my collection and be completely fine with that. This for an everyday, this for special occasions, even just other occasions. It doesn't have to be a special occasion, but you know what I'm trying to say, like casual, not casual. And this is my number one. This is my number one. I absolutely know I'm taking this to Arizona. I don't know how many more times I can say it. This Pat McGrath foundation comes in at number 1. I did not like the concealer as much, but that's a story for a different day. And that is me ranking all of my foundations that I've been trying for the past 6 weeks or so. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe, stick around. I do lots of foundation reviews. I love, love, love foundation. And with that, I will see you all in my next video. Bye, everyone.